Xabi Alonso, the guy who had a specific relationship with the ball. The guy who, at one point in time, played for all the best teams in the world. Yeah, that guy. A player with such elegance, such poise, and such love for the game. You can really see it in his eyes. He was a true definition of football elegance. A player so mature and so magical in the way he passed the ball, most importantly. So, how good was Prime Xabi Alonso? Let's delve deep into the magic of Alonso's prime. The player who once played for all the best teams in Europe. Let's get right into it. Before we get into his career, most of you don't remember that his most important quality in his repertoire was his long-range passing. That was his bread and butter. He used to make these 40 to 50 yard passes with such ease, somewhere in the similar park of like a Pirlo, maybe even a David Beckham. I don't think players nowadays make these types of passes on a daily basis. The only other player that I can think of at the top of my head that can replicate these types of passes would be Paul Pogba. These are rare qualities that players should get back to learning. It needs to be something that has to be perfected. But maybe you can make the argument that long passing is not necessary because the tactics of the game have changed over the years, which in this case is quite fair. So when I think of Alonso, I think of magnificent long passing, don't you? Alonso made his senior debut for Real Sociedad against Logroñez in December of '99 in a Copa del Rey fixture. He continued to be an amazing starter, but the most impactful year at Real Sociedad was in 2003. Real Sociedad's success in the 02-03 season was greatly attributed to Alonso, who was regarded highly for his leadership as their youthful captain and helped the team win the league. This was just at the age of 20 years old. He was the youngest player on that squad. Just think about it. This Real Sociedad squad had a team of super experienced players, more experienced than Xabi for sure. And despite all of that, they decided to entrust the captaincy to the youngest player. This honestly boggles my mind. The following season had different results. His contributions were great, but the club didn't perform well as a whole, and his interest in the side declined. The young Spaniard received lucrative offers from clubs like Real Madrid, but he ultimately chose to sign with Rafael Benitez's Liverpool team in England. Alonso joined Liverpool in August of 2004 for a fee of £10.7 million, somewhere around that ballpark. I would say that's a pretty high fee for the time, but in hindsight, I think it was really well worth it because he had a really successful career at Anfield. He won several important trophies while he was there. Though he had a rough start, he was a very big part of the 2005 Champions League victory, a heroic display of football, and the miracle comeback from a 3-goal deficit against Milan in the final was a historic moment for Alonso. When Liverpool was behind 3-2, he was the one to take the penalty kick. He missed the first attempt but was able to hammer the rebound into the roof of the net, making the score 3-3. The English team went on to win the finals in a penalty shootout. This game was called the Miracle of Istanbul. Many players agree that this is one of the greatest comebacks of Champions League history, and Xabi Alonso was one of the major contributors during this run. Without his contributions, Liverpool would have not even gotten there in the first place. Lifting that trophy was one of his favorite moments in his career. He has said this in multiple interviews over the years. In his time at Liverpool, Alonso made a total of 143 appearances with 14 goals and 17 assists in all competitions. Liverpool supporters have fond memories of his time in England. He was one of the good ones, they would say. Xabi decided to join Real Madrid on August 5th, 2009 on a £30 million move. This is 3 times what he was bought for at Liverpool. Was it worth it? I mean, I would say he was. He won multiple trophies and won everything you could ever think of as a player. So yeah, I'd for sure say he was well worth the money. During his tenure at Madrid, he was mainly used in a deep midfield role for the Spanish team, though he was not scoring many goals and creating headlines. Alonso was very much an integral and important part of the midfield that partnered with Mesut Ozil, Luka Modric, and Sami Khedira. These players were the perfect midfield partnership that helped Madrid get out of the rut they were in for so many years. In years past, they had bought the likes of R9, Figo, David Beckham, and Zidane, the Galacticos they called them. None of these players brought them enough trophies compared to what Alonso had brought for Madrid during his time there. Okay. Before you criticize me in the comments, you need to go back and compare the amount of trophies that the Galacticos won during their era and compare them with the Alonso's era, and you can see clearly that Alonso's era was more successful with trophies than the Galacticos era. This is just pretty plain and simple. During his Madrid years, he also participated and was called up for the Spanish national team. This was the golden generation of Spanish players that won everything you could ever dream of winning. This includes 2 European championships and 1 World Cup. He was at the pinnacle of football from 2008 all the way to 2013, I would say. He was in his prime during that period. This period in his career was when he was known as Madrid's true magician. On the Madrid side, his first league title of his career came in the 2011-2012 season with Real Madrid, and he won his second Champions League title in the 2013-2014 season. These are just a few of the titles he won at Madrid, which I would say was a successful career overall. He had a total of 158 appearances with 4 goals and 19 assists at Madrid. He was a true gentleman, the shining light on that team. The light under Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, but all things come to an end. And after that amazing Champions League win against Atletico de Madrid, he decided to switch sceneries. Xabi Alonso's stint at Bayern Munich was quite a fascinating chapter in his illustrious career. You know, the Spanish maestro joined Bayern in the summer of 2014, making the switch from Real Madrid. It was a bit of a surprise move, but boy, did he make an impact at Bayern Munich. Combined with Thiago Alcantara and Philipp Lahm, Bayern was an unstoppable force not to be reckoned with. One of the standout moments during Alonso's time at Bayern was his debut on September 13, 2014. In a Bundesliga match against FC Schalke. Not only did he showcase his renowned passing skills and control in midfield, but he also scored a memorable long-range goal. I mean, talk about hitting the ground running. It's like winning chased him on every team he went to. He had one of the top winning careers of all time, if you really count and think about it. It was evident the amount of impact he provided for the Bayern side. It was like watching a masterclass in football strategy every time Alonso stepped onto the pitch. However, towards the end of his tenure in 2017, Alonso announced that he would be hanging up his boots at the conclusion of the season. The football world bid farewell to a true midfield maestro, and the Bayern fans will forever cherish the memories of his time orchestrating their midfield. Alonso's impact at Bayern Munich was not just about the silverware. It was about the artistry and intelligence he brought to the beautiful game, leaving an indelible mark on the club's recent history. So yeah, this is how good Xabi was when he was playing. His prime extended for so many years, but I'd say his prime was primarily played on 2008 all the way to 2013, somewhere in between. When do you think it was? Leave it in the comments down below and let me know your opinion about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are amazing. I'll catch you guys on the next one.